other things, but I think I was first out of the box, and they decided to do the second volume of the UFO evidence, and so
Now,
there were a number of projects that were done, and Bigelow gave the money until he decided he should be more active, and so that thing fell apart.
He should be more active, and it fell apart, or inactive financially.
He thought that he should be running it.
Oh, he felt like if he put in the money as an angel or a vest, and he invested.
Well, he said no strings, and then he decided he wanted to run it. So.
Oh, I see. So these are 3 nonprofits.
Yeah, these were nonprofits.
Okay, I understand then. Yeah, that would be very politically incorrect, I would imagine. But I could understand if you invest, whether it's profit or nonprofit, you'd want a return on your investment.
Right,
but like you said, it's your understanding. Now, folks, this is hearsay, right? But the hearsay is because I was involved in 2008 and something to do with putting together a STAR team investigators inside UConn. The only year I
this is back in 1994.
Okay, so
this is way earlier than anything with the STAR team. That's direct. That's MUFON, and that's direct in MUFON. It's not the UFO Research Coalition, which still exists. The UFO Research Coalition still exists, and there's money in the Treasury. In fact, FUFOR still exists. There's money in the Treasury, and CUFO still exists. There's money in the Treasury. So
the coalition. So he pulled back then. Once did he own any files for his investment, or was that
well, you had to. I did a report. I did several reports because I started branching out. I affiliated with Dominic Weinstein in France. He's an intelligence officer for the French security services, and he started putting together a catalog of aircraft crew sightings of UFOs, and so I helped him. So that was, one thing that I got involved in because of this, and several other people's projects.
Well, that's important, Jan, because now you're not only talking about your history in collaborating with various nonprofits for the United States files, but now you have a collaboration with the country of France, which makes it an international endeavor.
Right. Well, yeah. See, Dominic was not at the time. He was not doing this for the French government. I'm just saying that this was a now later on the French government said, we're going to take your data and we're going to look at some of the radar data you've collected there, because it's very interesting. So they one of the things they kind of determined was that the pilots were very good at estimating the size and distance of the UFO from the aircraft, even though they had very little reference points in the sky to look at. They
were good because they were used to looking at their equipment and being
right. So the French space program has a UFO committee inside it, and so they contacted Weinstein, and they used his data that, not just I provided a lot of data for Weinstein. He said, he says, you give me the data, and then I put it in a catalog and publish it. He said, you're doing all the work, but that's not true. He was getting people in Spain, Italy, England.
So he was doing European theater?
Yeah, well, Australia. People were sending him stuff from all around the world. So this is, it's about, he has about 1,800 sightings by aircrew from about 1916 to the late 1980s.
Did he put it in a book or data archive?
It's online. It's online, and you can look at his catalog. It's at the NARCAP site. So
you're,
Doctor.
Let's tell people real quickly here. It's we've only got about 24 minutes left. So give them the name of your website and the one we're talking about with Mr. Weinstein. What's his first name, and how do we reach his files in NARCAP? And they're international, not just USA files. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, worldwide, yes.
Worldwide.
And well, I mean, it was a process, because some, UFO cases become solved during so we would have entries in his catalog, and we would find a solution to them, and so then they would fall out of the catalog. We'd take them out of the catalog. We have a discussion on my website about how we were, it shows what we were doing, I had one of the letters that I wrote him telling him, hey, I found these cases, and here's the references, and some of these cases I've got more information now, and one or two of these cases we should take out of there because they're not there. I have showing how we worked on this catalog.
All right, and that's
my site is
7, right?
Right.
So
ahead. It's www. Project 1947 all one word.com, and that'll take you to the home page right there. It's been on the internet now for not quite 25 years. So
almost 25
years. Keeps expanding. It keeps expanding, and we keep putting new stuff on there. And the next thing that will be on there is the last 2 trips, research trips I took. I sent John the Project 47 webmaster. I sent him trip reports on the last 2 trips I took this year. So
now
that'll be the next thing that's on there.
47?
What?
Is your webmaster for your Project 1947 Legion 47 at Gmail?
Yeah, that's him.
Is that now? Who is that? Who's the webmaster? You or someone else?
No, John Stepkowski in Australia. My webmaster's in Australia.
Okay, well, say his name again, because that's the first you probably mentioned it the last time you were on, but say his name again and tell us a little
John
about him.
Stepkowski. So he is we've been together for nearly 25 years on this project. And he's pretty good with web solutions, and that's his job, is computers. So he helps me out on that.
So his Legion 47 at Gmail is John.
Right.
And I can't spell his name for us in Australia. Stepkowski?
So, Stepkowski.
All right. I don't know how to spell it. We'll figure it out. But that's Jan Aldrich and all his historical documentation. And then how do we find out that French gentleman that you, Mr. Weinstein in France? Is he a link on your site on Project 1947? Do you have links, or is that our job to start getting all that?
No, it's at the NARCAP site. The
NARCAP, NARCAP.
Yep. .org.
Yeah, NARCAP.org.
So it's
all right. We'll try to grab
the National
Aviation Reporting Center.
Yes, right. That's it. National Aviation Reporting Center, and
anomalous phenomena.
Yep, and the founder was a NASA scientist. So
Dr. Richard Haynes.
Yes, Richard Haynes. So
okay.
he has about 3,000 cases in his files for aircraft crew. So.
All right. So you're going on the fact that we have...
There are all kinds of articles, not only by Weinstein, but a number of other people on his site, scientists and aircraft people and stuff like that. Now on my site, I do have a little bit about when I was dealing with he is, like I said, he is in the French security service. He's a captain. So when Captain Weinstein we were working on a thing together, I have a document on there you can look at that shows how we were doing this.
Now that's on your site, which is Project.
That's on my site, and I want to say on my site I have a number of articles by other people that.
Okay.
So yeah. So there's Keith Basterfield in Australia, and he was instrumental in finding a large number of official Australian documents and getting them out to the public. And so he has written several articles and put up about a dozen catalogs of different things like trace cases, electronic interference cases, occupant cases. So he writes on my site. Number of Paul Dean, Barry Greenwood writes sometimes for my site. So it's just not my site. In fact, Keith had so many things on my site at one time. I told him it's not the Project 47 site anymore. It's the Keith Basterfield UFO research site because we have so much stuff up there. So.
Well, you do have an awful lot of data, and do you have any idea how big your archive is? Is it very costly to keep up with all this data that you've got digitized in your one site? It's got to be pretty thick.
It is pretty expensive. We get a break from the I guess it's not that expensive to have a large website, but we get kind of a break anyways because the people are kind of interested in it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. So you have several organizations that may pitch in or help you with the cost maybe or something like that for data collection.
Well, yeah. Well,